Hello, fellow sports buds. We made it to week 6 in the NFL. Let's dive into it. I'm Chris Billings. That's Tony Parlay Reyes. That's Nicholas Nicopedia Kerr. Another London game to start us off.
hmm
Looks like us West Coast folks are waking up early again. We have the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. Not really at the Tennessee Titans, but in old merry old London town. God save the king. Baltimore favored by 3.5 points. Start out with you, Nick. Who do you got in this one?
I'm taking the Titans because if you watched last week, I said Ryan Tannehill. Odd weeks, does bad. Even weeks, he's done good. Week 6, I'll take the Titans.
I'm also going with the Titans, Nick. The Ravens just have no run game right now. And I've talked about it in our winners and losers episode. Check that out here. But the receiving core can't catch the ball right now. Not a good recipe for success when you're going against a team and a coach that's just notable for thriving on time of possession. So, I think the main reason that the Titans lost against the Colts last week is they couldn't stop the run game. Ravens don't have a run game. And then, just for all intents and purposes, Ryan Tannehill, he still can get the job done. Yes, he's very much in the end stages of his career, but I think he can get it done. He has a shot against the Ravens defense, and I think that's the only chance that the Ravens have in this game is if they can get takeaways from the Titans. So, and we're talking about a defense that got cooked by Kenny Pickett last week. So, Tony, that leaves us with you. Let's check on you up. Who do you got in this game?
I'm gonna be in agreement with you guys. Give me the Titans. This is your game right here, London. You Brits are gonna actually learn what true football is. Titans, Ravens, wake up early. This is gonna be ugly. Let me tell you, this is gonna be ugly. That is primarily the reason I'm picking the Titans. Give me the underdog. Give me the points. Give me the hook. The under is going to hit in this game. You know it's going to be bad offense. There's going to be like slipping. It's going to be bad. Maybe Lamar makes some guys miss, but Billings is right. The run game is lacking for the Ravens. Vrabel's got the defense going on. I've pretty much built a vacation home for Ryan Tannehill getting those games wrong, but I'm still going to go ahead and back the Titans. Titans winning this game in London. It's going to be ugly. 16-13, something hideous like that with like 4 or 5 field goals. Welcome to American football, London. That's what you're going to watch this weekend. I'm taking the Titans.
All right, let's bring it stateside. Got the Carolina Panthers at the Miami Dolphins. Double-digit spread here. Miami favored by 13.5 points. Tony, I'll stick with you on this one. Who do you have, Panthers or Dolphins?
Huge spread. Really wanted me to make me think about taking the Panthers, but no. Give me the Dolphins. Even though the Dolphins weren't really sure if they wanted to cover last week against the Giants, I think there was some kind of insider thing going on with Vegas because that made no sense to me. It's like, dude, what's going on? You guys got to cover this. They ended up covering, but it was a little bit closer than I thought it was going to be. I'm going to take the Dolphins to blow out the Panthers. Panthers are not ready for this Dolphins offense at all.
Tony, I'm also taking the Dolphins. No surprise in this game. Really what it came down to was thinking was a double-digit spread too much, but then even in a game last week where the Dolphins had 3 turnovers against the Giants, they still won by 15 points. So, and I think Carolina is, I'd say undisputably the worst team in the league right now. I'm not even sure if they're going to win a game this season. If they do, they're only going to win 1 game. So yes, give me the Dolphins. So that leaves us with our resident South Floridian, Nicholas Kerr. Who do you got in this game?
You know I'm picking the Dolphins. Miami's rolling both rushing and passing right now, leading the NFL in both categories. And right now, Carolina's biggest problem on defense is they're allowing almost 5 yards per rush. So I think Raheem Mostert and company they'll do fine. It's going to hurt without having A-Chain, but Coach McDaniel will definitely have a game plan, and Dolphins should cover.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the Dolphins on this one. A game that it seemed like we're all a little bit more worried about and had a tougher time selecting. New Orleans Saints are in Houston against the Texans. Essentially a pick'em game. Saints only favored by 1.5 points against the Texans. Tony, I'll jump to you. Who do you got in this game?
I'm going to take the Texans, Chris. And the Saints are probably feeling themselves way too much off of that blowout win over Belichick. And Nick was talking to me. He was explaining how C.J. Stroud is a winner in our Winners and Losers episode. Check it out. He's preaching right there. I'm buying it. They've really got a good culture going on in Houston. Nico Collins, I don't even know where that guy was drafted, and he's a good receiver. They got a good connection. He's making good decisions. I just think the wrong team's favored here. The Texans are at home. They shouldn't be an underdog. I love the fact they're getting 1.5. Give me the Texans.
Hey, only I can do that where I point to the fake links in the sky. Don't take my bit, man. I'm also taking the Texans, Tony. CJ Stroud's playing great right now. Has still yet to turn over the ball on his end. And also, I think that game against the Patriots was just a complete outlier for the Saints. Like, that is not how they've played this season. So I am just going to take that game out of my head. That is not how the Saints have performed. Give me the Texans on this one. I think they win at home. Nick, that leaves us with you.
See, so if you watched last week, there are some games I wasn't really sure on. So I let the coin do it for me.
Oh.
Tails is going to be Tails is going to be the away team. Heads is going to be the home team.
It's a flipping it.
Heads. So I am going Texans.
All right.
Okay.
Across the board, Texans. And the coin we trust. Next game, we have the Washington Commies at the Atlanta Falcons. ATL favored by 2.5 points. I'll stay here with me. I'm going with the Falcons in this game. As much as I've pushed against it, the Falcons are good. I just didn't want Tony to be right when it comes down to it, but I think Tony was right about the Falcons. Arthur Smith has that team just gelling right now, with Desmond Ridder, Bijan Robinson, even getting Kyle Pitts involved finally. So I see the Falcons winning this outright. Washington Commanders also not really think they're a good team, and also Falcons just playing amazing at home as well. So, Tony, who do you have?
I agree with you, man. The Falcons, 2.5 points. It feels like they're trying to make you take the Commanders. Falcons are so much better at home, and I guess Desmond Ridder's converting me. I'm watching him make these throws, and I'm still like in disbelief. I'm like, man, he's actually completing them. But Drake London's legit. I believe the Falcons made a trade today with the Rams to go ahead and get Van Jefferson. So they're going to keep adding weapons to the arsenal. Maybe they're trying to open up the pass game for Ridder more. I would really like him to get Pitts more involved, but I think I like what's happening there. They are developing a winning culture in Atlanta. So yeah, give me the Falcons.
Signs of a good team are winning games you should not win, and the Falcons have been doing that. So credit to them. Yeah. Right, Nick? Are we flipping it again?
Yes, we are. Let's see.
Flipping it!
Tails. Commanders.
All right.
Oh.
All right, so that puts me on a lonely island.
A lonely island with the Commanders.
I'll take it.
I don't know about
Hey,
that.
I need to try to catch up to you guys somehow. You guys are already blowing me out of the water. The only way to get there is to have picks you guys don't. Otherwise, it's just gonna put me further
As I said
back.
to the Cowboys fans, it's a long season. We're not even a third of the way through the season, so you got time, Nick. All right, we have a divisional matchup: AFC South, Indianapolis Colts going to Duval County. The Jaguars are back stateside, and they're favored by 4.5 points. Stick with myself on this one. I'm going with the Colts. More so than anything, the Jags have been in London for 2 weeks. 2 big wins. I envision them just coming back down to reality in this game. I think that they're either going to have a close win over Indy, or Indy's going to win outright. So I'm going with the Colts. 4.5 also just seemed weird for this spread. I think it's, if Jags do win, gonna be closer than 4.5 points. So let's check in with Nick. Who do you have, Jags or Colts?
Chris, I'm right there with you with the Colts. I think, yeah, the Jags had 2 big wins over in London. I think the travel back is they're gonna take a little bit of time to get used to that after spending 2 weeks there. So I think that these division games, especially between the Colts and the Jags, are always close. So I think it's a much closer spread. Even if the Jags do win, I think it's only by a field goal.
And even though Jacksonville, they say it's a hop, skip, and a jump from London, still a 5-hour time difference.
Exactly.
Like, when you've spent 2 weeks, 5 hours ahead, it's gonna screw with your clock, and then having to go back, establish new habits in your training facilities, come back to that North Florida heat, Central Florida, I don't know what it is. So yeah, I think just Jags will have some adjusting to do this week. So let's check in on Mr. Parlay Reyes. Oh, he's on the lonely island. Why are you picking the Jags in this one?
It's a good question, man. Have I learned from my revenge from Gardner Minshew making me grow this mustache? Perhaps not. But the Colts can't win in Jacksonville. They have an extensive history of struggling there. I just don't like this matchup, man. I think the Jags are starting to click. They beat the Bills last week. This Calvin Ridley connection is happening. It's just not a good match for the Colts right now. I think the Colts will get Jonathan Taylor more involved, but I think Gardner Minshew is going to be limited in this game. I think the Jags win by about a touchdown.
All right. Fair enough. We'll check in next week on that one. All right. You got the Seahawks in Cincinnati. Bengals favored by 2.5 points. Tony, or actually, I'll stick with myself on this one. I'm going with the Seahawks. Great game out of Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow last week, but I think it's more of an outlier for what they've done this season. I don't see them doing that against Pete Carroll this weekend, so I'm going with the Seahawks. So now I'll jump to Tony. Who do you have, Seahawks or Bengals?
I'm with you with the Seahawks, but I don't like it. I don't feel good about it. It feels like a trap, because I know Pete Carroll's had the Seahawks had the bye, so they had extra time to prepare. Bengals looked a lot better in Arizona. Don't know if it was a one-off. They are back at home. That's secondary for Seattle, man. I just can't stop thinking about what they did to Daniel Jones on Monday night. It's going to be a great matchup with those receivers. Man, I'm just going to stick with it until I'm more convinced about Burrow. So yeah, I'm with you with the Seahawks.
Yeah. All right. That leaves us with Nick. Looks like it's another flipping it.
Yep, for the exact reasons you guys were just saying, I don't know if Joe Burrow's really back or if last week was just one of those things. So let's go.
Flipping it.
Tails. Seahawks.
All right.
All right.
And the coin, we trust. All right, we have the Vikings, who are now 1-4 against the 1-4 Bears. Yikes!
Yeah.
In Chicago, Minnesota, only favored by 2.5 points. Nick, I'll stick with you. Who do you have in this game?
This one was very tricky. I almost went to the flipping it for this one, but on one hand, you got Kirk Cousins, who's played great in four of the first 5 games this year. But now he's going to have to do it without Justin Jefferson. On the other hand, you got Justin Fields, who looked awful the first, 3 games of the year, but somehow last 2 games, 8 passing touchdowns. So I don't know. But I think I want to pick the Bears in this. I think I'm going to pick the Bears.
All right. Wow. Okay. Tony, who do you have in this? Bears or Vikings?
I agree with Nick. Bears are winning this game, and let me tell you why. Nick's over here questioning who Justin Fields is throwing these touchdowns to. Let me tell you, it was a DJ Moore show on Thursday night. DJ Moore is back. DJ Moore is like, yeah, I'm one of these good receivers in the league. Throw me the ball. One of the first receivers in league history, 5 touchdowns, 500 yards in his first 5 games. He destroyed the Commanders on Thursday night. Bears have had more time to prepare for this game. Like you said about Justin Jefferson not being there for the Vikings, I don't think the Vikings secondary will be able to handle it. It seems like Justin Fields and that offense is actually starting to be confident and figure things out. Give me the Bears at home.
What the fuck, y'all? Like, leaving me on a lonely island with the Vikings? If the Vikings lose this game against the Bears, blow it up. Get Justin Jefferson out there. Get my guy Kirk Cousins the fuck out of there. Be done with it. Rebuild. Oh my god. Be in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes at that point. But just my brain can't even process the Vikings losing this game. So picking the Vikings, but dear god, if they lose this game, fucking, we're gonna have to have an exorcism post-game show, boys. So, all right. Moving forward, we got the Niners fresh off a beat down of the Cowboys. Lo siento, Tony. Against the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson is back. Niners only favored by 5.5 points. Seems like Vegas might be onto a little something with this game. Tony, who do you got in this one?
I don't think I'm allowed to pick against this Niners team for a while. Brock Purdy is going to tear that Browns defense up. Maybe the weather's messed up there. Maybe that's the reason for the spread and the kickers won't be able to make kicks. But it's just, man, Niners too complete, man. Too many questions on the Browns offensive side. I'm going with the Niners to cover this.
Nick?
I'm right there with you, Tony. I'm taking the Niners in this. Like you said, they look like the most complete team in the NFL right now. They got star weapons on offense. Well, you guys put an MVP candidate as quarterback, and a defense has been gelling for years. Plus, still not picking Mr. Massage Man.
Not on my lonely island for this one, boys. I'm picking the Niners, but I will say this. It's going to be a little bit of a measuring stick game for Brock Purdy and that Niners offense. Even though the Browns had some struggles against the Ravens, like, their defense is still playing downright stingy, allowing less than 200 yards a game. Only 500 passing yards all season have been thrown on the Browns. So, like, they're an amazing defense. Once again, I think that Ravens game, a little bit of an outlier, but, like, this is going to be a test to just see what Kyle Shanahan can do with that offense. So I'm interested in this game, but I do think that the Niners end up pulling it out by a touchdown or more. But that spread makes you look a couple times. 5.5 points
to be a lot more.
5.5 points is weird, so maybe Vegas sees something that the rest of us don't, but all three of us going with the Niners. So, Patriots at Raiders. Vegas favored by 3 points in this game. Pats, Bill Belichick, we've talked about it at length. Fresh off 2 of the worst weeks of his entire career. Heading into the desert. Tony, who do you got in this game?
Give me the Patriots, man. There's just no way. There's no way that he loses this game by more than a field goal. Going against Jimmy Garoppolo as well. He's got the playbook on him. I know the Patriots have looked bad, but there's just no way. Give me the Patriots to at least cover in this game.
All right. We'll actually jump to Nick, who's going to do a flipping it on this one. So let's see what the coin says.
Flipping it.
Taking the Pats. Tails.
Motherfucker. All right.
Yep.
I
Looks
didn't
like
do it.
I'm
The coin
on
made
a
me do it.
lonely island, picking the Raiders. Hey, Josh McDaniel is 2-0 against Bill Belichick. One of those times with the Broncos, one of those times with the Raiders, in head-to-head battles. Also, like I said, BB fresh off of 2 of the worst games in his career. But no, I think Mac Jones continues to regress. I think Jimmy G's the better QB. Also, I talked about it. I think the Raiders have some pretty goddamn good players on that team. They are winning in spite of their coaching. So, give me the Raiders in this game. I think the Mac Jones BB regression continues, and Boston fans have to, they got to deal with some shit on Monday. So, moving on. My mouse won't work for me. Lions at Buccaneers. Detroit favored by 3 points. I'll jump back to you, Tony. Fresh trying to drink a beer right now. Who do you got in this game? Lions or Bucs?
Wanted to pick the Bucs so bad. I was thinking about it. Baker coming off the bye, having that extra time. I don't think Mike Evans is okay, though. I think he's going to be out for this game. I don't think Baker's going to be the same without Mike Evans. And like I was saying, this Aiden Hutchinson guy intercepted a screen pass last week in the most ridiculous way. He's making that jump. He wants to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. I just think the Lions' offensive and defensive line's just going to be too much for the Bucs. Give me the Lions by more than a field goal.
Nick.
I'm right there with you, Tony. The Dan Campbell has his Lions team playing both well on offense and defense, especially on defense. That defensive line, they've just been tremendous in giving the opponent, or taking away the opponent's advantage, giving their offense a very short field. I think if the Bucs are going to have any chance in this game, they're going to have to score 30, and I just don't see them doing it.
Yahar mateys, I come to you from a lonely island because I be picking the Bucs this week. Bucs D, pretty good. They're only allowing 17 points a game. You mix that with some Tampa heat and humidity, even though it's supposed to be a pretty cool game on Sunday. Only supposed to be about 80 degrees, which for Florida, hey, that's as best as you can ask for it. Yeah. But I don't think Sunday's going to be an easy day for the Dirty Cats. I think this game's honestly going to end on a push or with Tampa covering, but I still think the Lions win. So, Mouse is working this time. Cardinals at Rams, divisional matchup in Los Angeles. Rams favored by 6.5 points. Tony, I'll kick it to you.
I didn't like picking the Cardinals in this one, but I went with them. Too many points in a divisional game, and I just feel like what the Rams are doing with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp is dangerous. Like, holy crap, if they really get that clicking later on in the season, it's going to be tough, but they got to keep Stafford upright. He kept getting hit against the Eagles. That offensive line has some questions. 6.5 points feels like a lot for the division. I think the Rams still win, but I got the Cardinals covering.
Nick?
Exactly what Tony said. The Cardinals team, they have looked much, much better under Josh Dobbs, and I think that they will fight. But I think that this game, it's going to be closer than that, the 6.5 points. I think this ends on a late field goal by the Rams.
Still here. I found my beach with my Corona. I am picking the Rams in this game. Like, at a certain point, like, reality has to catch up with the Cardinals. I feel like they've been playing beyond their expectations. Also, I feel like the Rams have also been playing below some of their expectations to a certain extent. So, I think the Rams win it by a touchdown. 6.5 points, just, yeah, not doing it for me. So, also say Rams win by 7. Yes, I've been drinking this Corona here on my beach as I'm slurring. Moving forward, last game for the Sunday morning afternoon games. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at New York Jets. Philly favored also by 6.5 points in this game. Nick, I'll jump to you on this one. Who do you have, Eagles or Jets?
This hurts me so bad to say this, but I'm picking the New York Jets. And the reason I'm picking the Jets is not because of the Jets, is because of the Eagles. The Eagles had that game last year where they just completely fell apart and they ended up losing to the Commanders. I think they are due for one of those games. I think they still end this season with a great record, but I think they end up losing this week to the Jets.
Tony?
Wow. What a hot take. I'm trying to recover. Zach Wilson beating the Eagles. I also had the Jets covering this. I had them covering a 6.5 point spread. I felt like, the main thing I know about the Jets is they like to hurt you. So it'll be a close game late, and then they'll do something that'll be painful to blow it. And the Eagles will end up winning late by like a field goal or something. But I wasn't ready for that upset pick that Nick had right there. But yeah, I got the Jets covering.
Weirdly, I'm on a lonely island picking an undefeated team, the Eagles, versus Zach Wilson-led Jets. The world just doesn't make sense. Anyways, I'm going with the Eagles on this game. Like, unless Breece Hall decides to go off for 250 yards, which he won't against that Eagles defensive line. Eagles have this all day. Like, yes, it might be close, but I think it'll be one of those games where maybe the Jets come out early with their scripted plays, and then once they go off those scripted plays, Eagles are going to have them. They make separation. They win by a touchdown or more. But no. Sorry. Eagles all day. I still think they're probably the best team in the NFL right now, despite what the Niners did to the Cowboys. So that's my pick. Those are the Sunday games. We'll have our SNF picks later on today, or later on this weekend, I guess. And then we'll have our Monday Night Footballs on Monday. But those are our Sunday picks. Packers, Steelers on a bye weekend as well. So, everyone, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy some football this weekend. I'm a little schwasty off the Coronas. Have a good one.
Thanks for watching the Sports Buds. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe.